What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lork from the Money Etiquette Group, and breaking news. The NCAA has ruled that college athletes can now sign sponsorship deals. They can be paid for their likeness. So if they're used in video games and they want their names on jerseys, they can be paid for that. If they want to sign a Nike deal, Reebok deal, Puma deal, Adidas deal, they can be paid for that. If they want to sign a simple apparel deal, not a shoe deal, they can be paid for that. If they want to sign a deal with a card salesman or a car dealership company in their local community, they can sign it. However, don't get this confused with a total victory, because it's not for those who are advocates and those who are behind college students and student athletes being paid. The reason that it's not a total victory is because we're talking about maybe of all college athletes, we're talking about maybe 5% that will get these deals, because let's just be honest, the third stringer, fourth stringer, a lot of redshirt freshmen, a lot of players won't be offered opportunities to be paid for their likeness, okay? If you include all players' name in a video game, I get that, and there might be a small percentage stipend for that. But when it comes to getting a shoe deal, getting an apparel deal, you're only going to be talking about Heisman Trophy candidates and winners, quarterbacks, receivers, some star running backs, maybe 1 or 2 star defenders, a defensive end, linebacker, maybe a corner if they're really spectacular what they do and they're really just outspoken in character. But for the most part, most college athletes won't be paid from this. So when you have a group that's battling for athletes to be paid, when you're talking about billions of dollars that the universities are making from their efforts, that war isn't over. It's not a complete victory. However, it's a step in the right direction. Now, the reason that the NCAA moved so quickly to change the rules is because of what happened in California. When California and the governor pretty much put out a bill and passed that bill to say that college athletes can sign sponsorship deals, it kind of forced the NCAA's hand. However, again, this is not a total victory for those who are advocates and those who really want college athletes to be paid for what they do, because that's a more difficult task. When you talk about how do you determine how much money each player gets at each school? Well, some schools have more of an advantage because they can pay players more versus another school. It's a very complicated matter when you talk about paying college students for their services for being an athlete. However, it's easier to say, okay, you can sign sponsorship deals because not everyone's going to get a sponsorship deal. Nevertheless, guys, this is a victory for those who really want this to happen. Certainly, I would say it's a victory for LeBron James, who's been an advocate behind this, and anyone else that's been a major advocate behind this and chose to stand with athletes and college athletes. This is important, but what do you guys think? Do you feel that college athletes will be paid for their services no matter how popular they are or what position they play, just universally? Do you feel like all college athletes will be paid? Do you feel like it's just going to go to the basketball team and football teams? Do you feel like only the popular sports that bring in a lot of money will be eligible for pay? Or do you feel like this will be enough to quiet the storm that's coming when it comes to people arguing for college athletes being paid? Do you feel like this is enough and that fight will be pushed 20 years down the line? Or do you feel like this only accelerates the pace at which people work towards college athletes being paid? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Again, guys, this is not a total victory. This does not mean that universities and colleges will be paying student athletes salaries. What it means is that a small percentage of athletes on the collegiate level will be eligible to sign sponsorship deals. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the sponsorship deal allows them to get paid while they're in school. Some will say we can postpone that payment till later, but you can sign the deal now, which also means that college athletes can and should be eligible to hire agents. So for that industry, that's big. That means that now as an agent, you can sign college players and they won't lose their eligibility to play in NCAA, so they don't have to be forced to go towards the pros so quickly. Also, guys, will this keep more student athletes in school longer versus running to the NFL, the NBA? Will they stay longer and finish their academic programs because they're being paid while they're there? Or will they rush to the NFL and to the NBA? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk everything finance. I appreciate your support. Have a good one.